Hey up, that old Yorkshire geek here again, with more news of a geeky nature. Bit of French there, but not really. What am I on about? Well, we've got some news tonight, quite a lot today, and a bit extra than what I've advertised in the description, well, the title, well, the thumbnail, that's what I mean, the thumbnail. A little bit extra, not too much. Got some Jurassic World Dominion trailer to watch, and a bit of Bladerunner news, bit of Dune news. Anyway, you'll find out, and obviously I'll be reading these articles out, and all the links will be in the description below, so don't forget to like and subscribe and share the videos and hit the notification bell and, well, what else, and do all that amazing stuff. But sure, like and subscribe, they're the main things out there. Oh, and drop a comment in the comment section below, but be nice to me, because, you know, I'm not very good at this, but I do my best. Right, so we'll do some news first. Oh, no, we won't. What we'll do first, sorry, I'm going to have an argument, my nose is tickling. What we'll do first, we'll watch the Jurassic World Dominion trailer. I know this came out the other day, but it were a bit too late. Or yesterday, whenever. But it were a bit too late for me to include in a news thing. So we'll watch it now, Anyway, so here we go. I shall pop it up. I will be over the top of it, as well as that logo up there. Where is it? Over there. Over there. That logo will be over. And hopefully we won't get a copyright claim and the video blocked or whatever they do. So anyway, we'll see what happens, We'll see what, and I'll talk over it as well. But we'll watch it and see what happens. So, ba-dum. A-ba-dum. Right. Yeah. Ooh, dinosaurs. Parasaurolophus or Parasaurolophus with cowboys like Guanji, Valley of Guanji, isn't it? Reminiscent about the snow.
Something that was real.
Must be in something like Arizona or Montana or somewhere in winter.
Something that they could see and touch.
That and the Patasaurus or something like that. Looks like it, doesn't it?
Creation.
That blue.
Is an act of sheer will.
Blue's got a little baby blue.
Life.
How did that happen?
We'll find a way.
You say
we can't keep her here forever.
Template for the Force Awakens
We're never going to see her again. We have to protect her. That's our job.
Humans and dinosaurs can't coexist. We created an ecological disaster.
Ellie Sattler.
Alan Grant.
You didn't come out all this way just to catch up now, did you?
You coming or what?
Looks better in this than it did in the last Jedi. I'll tell you that.
We're racing toward the extinction of our species. We not only lack dominion over nature, we're subordinate to it.
Leave my Sienna or somewhere like that.
Come back.
I always come back.
That's another plane, right?
Not exactly.
Hey, Dilophosaurus is back.
Bigger. Why do they always have to go bigger?
That looks like a lot of fun to me. I reckon that's going to be good. But I must admit, I did like the others. So there we go. So we'll knock that off. There we go. Yes, that looks like a lot of fun. Get stars back. There we go. That looks like a lot of fun to me. I did like the previous two Jurassic Worlds, and I've liked them all. I've liked all of the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World films for what they are. You know, some people criticise them, don't they? But I think they're a lot of fun, and that looks fun as well. So I'll be going to see that. I'm sure my lad will be wanting me to take him to see it as well at pictures. So very good. So on we go. And it's nice to see, you know, Sam Neill and Laura Dern back. And I wonder if that that we're playing with Chris Pine. I wonder if that's supposed to be. It won't be, will it? No, I would say, is it supposed to be Jeff Goldblum's daughter from Jurassic Park 2: The Lost World? But I doubt it. It won't be, will it? That's it's a bit much even for me to accept. Anyway, so right, news. We're on with some news. Right, first up, are you ready for this? Here we go. Netflix's Marvel series, including Daredevil and Jessica Jones, are leaving Netflix. Excuse me, tickly nose again. Not COVID, just a tickly nose. I should have blown it before we started, but I didn't. Right, and there's Charlie Cox as Daredevil, who we saw not as Daredevil obviously, but we saw him as Matt Murdock in Spider-Man No Way Home. Spoilers. Something is definitely afoot in the non-Disney Marvel universe right now. In recent months, the characters of Daredevil and Kingpin have been revived and crossed over into the MCU proper, the former in Spider-Man No Way Home, the latter in Hawkeye. Charlie Cox has spoken about future plans for Matt Murdock to come, and now the entire run of Netflix's Marvel series, including Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Team Up Series Defenders, and The Punisher, is about to leave the streaming service that first brought them to life. Oh, maybe going, yeah, too far. Hang on, God, I'm an idiot. Recently, viewers have noticed messages attached to the above shows on their native service stating that they'll be leaving Netflix on 1st of March, which has since been corroborated by Entertainment Weekly after Marvel cancelled its spread of Marvel shows in 2018. The rights to the characters involved began reverting to Disney more recently, but no official announcement has been made yet on whether the Netflix series will be absorbed into the Disney Plus streaming library. And it'll be like Hulu in the United States, and is it Canada as well that they have Hulu? But the rest of the world, it's Disney Plus with the Star section of Disney Plus for that, you know, more adult material. While that makes the most sense, it's rare to see streaming shows like these move home even when the character rights have since moved on. If it's unlikely they'll disappear completely, nothing has yet been confirmed. As for whether any of the other Defenders will eventually join the MCU, that also remains to be seen. Could we have Jessica Jones snapping up a storm, or Luke Cage snapping people like twigs in future Disney Plus series? Is there a world in which Iron Fist gets any kind of second chance? I doubt it now we've had Shang-Chi. Anyway, would the MCU really go so far as to bring in the brutal Punisher? Yeah, no, I don't think that either. Or it'd be watered down at least, wouldn't it? Stay tuned. These are unprecedented times, and in the multiverse anything is possible. So anyway, so that's leaving Netflix, and I think they will go. To tell you, my nose is tickling. Might have to do another editing part and while I blow my nose, but we'll soldier on. Where were I? Yeah, I think they will go to Disney Plus. Oh, you noticed I've shaved my beard, trimmed my beard. It's not as wild now, is it? There you go. But I was trying to grow it right long, you know, to could put bobbles and plaits and stuff in it, but it wasn't happening. So I've trimmed it down a bit. I just look like Santa Claus a bit now, or just some old fisherman. Where were we? Oh yeah, Netflix. So I think they will go to Disney Plus and Hulu in America. But will they appear in the MCU movies? That's anybody's guess. To be honest, they could do, but just as like cameos, like Matt Murdock in Spider-Man and Kingpin in Hawkeye. I don't think they'll get their own features, unless they do some series. You know, they could do it like a Jessica Jones series 3, is it, and a Daredevil season 4, and whatever the others got up to. But would they be as gritty? Because they're quite gritty, aren't they? Would they be as gritty as the ones on Netflix? I doubt it very much. I mean, in Daredevil season 1, we saw Kingpin decapitate a man with a car door, didn't we? And I don't think we'd see that on Disney. But anyway, we shall see, as the saying goes. Next. The Walking Dead's Norman Reedus reacts to MCU casting rumours. See, we're still in Marvel. It's all Marvel and Disney these days, isn't it? There's been a lot of talk over the last couple of years. It says there, apparently. Oh, look, and there's... I haven't seen Walking Dead for a while, I'm sorry. I lost interest because it just got a bit samey for me. It was just going on and on with no end in sight. And it was just like, there's no hope. It's just surviving day after day. So what's the point? And in a real zombie apocalypse, I'd be gone within seconds because they'd just get me, and I'd be either eaten to nothing or I'd be a zombie myself. So that's by the by. Right, Norman Reedus may be in a spot of bother as The Walking Dead's Daryl Dixon. So it's no surprise talk is turning to the actor's future beyond the zombie apocalypse. Now, just a few weeks after fans began wildly speculating that he was tipped to announce his Marvel Cinematic Universe debut as Ghostrider, Reedus has responded to the flurry of excitement over his potential casting. Following rumours that Marvel is working on a new Ghostrider movie with a Johnny Blaze in mind, the Walking Dead favourite told comicbook.com that he's also holding out hope. Fingers crossed, he said, when asked about his possible involvement. I don't know. And there he is in a poncho, obviously in The Walking Dead. Keeping us all in the dark for the time being, Norman added, there's been a lot of talk over the last couple of years. I do not have an answer for you. This isn't the first time Reedus has spoken out about his love for the iconic Marvel anti-hero, with the actor previously telling comicbook.com that he is definitely up for taking over the role. The Ghostrider conversation has been coming up for years, and yet tell them to put me in it, he said. So I don't know, call somebody, make that happen, I want to do it. And there's Ghostrider. Is that the Nick Cage version of Ghostrider? Yeah, it will be, won't it? I want a fire skull, he added. Understandably, I want my face to turn into a fire skull and whip a chain around. That would be great. Let's get Walking Dead final episodes out of the way first, though. So The Walking Dead Season 11 airs on AMC in the US and Star on Disney Plus in the UK. Does it? I didn't know we're on Disney Plus. Oh, I'll have to catch up, won't I? So there we go. They're on about him, but what about, Ghostrider appeared in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., didn't he? Did he? What Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I saw him. That, Latino actor played him, didn't he? Don't ask me his name, I don't know. But, he was quite good. Quite good, that. So you got to think about him as well. But they don't do the Hollywood types. They just do stuff. Anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Next up, Uncharted. An Uncharted movie is a flop with critics according to early reviews, but movies based on games, never do well, do they? Or very rarely. And there's Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, Mark, in some sort of wooden cage, but it looks, or is it just, it's not, no, is it just, no, they're on an old ship out there, and there's a wheel there, so, yeah, they're not in a cage. Right, reviews for the Uncharted movie, well, very good, have come in, and perhaps unsurprisingly, I'm from Yorkshire, I can't talk that knows. Unsurprisingly, even the kindest ones describe it as passable and inoffensive. Despite having Sony's full backing, being the first project from its new PlayStation production studio, it sounds like the big screen adaptation of Naughty Dog's Uncharted series hasn't quite managed to live up to the reputation of the games it's based on. Do they ever? At the time of writing, its average critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, or is it Tomatoes? Take your pick, is 41%, with many outlets describing it as every other treasure hunt movie you've seen a dozen times before. Obviously, they're talking about stuff like National Treasure, Tomb Raider, etc. Et al. Comparisons to the likes, of Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider are common, with the Times calling it a mediocre Tomb Raider knockoff, and the Financial Times saying it outright lifts parts of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Of course, Uncharted were created as a response to Tomb Raider, wasn't it? 'Cause, the Tomb Raider series was very successful for quite a while, and then Uncharted, was basically a rip-off of Tomb Raider, but did it better, and then Tomb Raider ripped off Uncharted, didn't it? Amazing. Anyway, so where are we going? Oh, we haven't done yet. Even the nicer reviews from places like Games Radar and the Daily Express don't score it any higher than a 3 out of 5. That's better than no, isn't it? Not too bad. With the latter simply calling it perfectly watchable and reasonably entertaining. There appears to be split opinions on whether leads Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg have fun chemistry or not. I've got to admit, even just from photos, they don't look to have chemistry, if that's possible. Is it possible to have chemistry in a photo? I don't know. But they don't look to have. Not to me, anyway. The Gamer is particularly critical of the latter's portrayal of Sully, Nathan Drake's partner in crime, saying he's just an asshole, betraying those close to him without a care in the world, with a performance that doesn't sell the years of hardened experience this character is meant to have. There are a few more positive takes on Twitter, which suggest that fans of the games will at least get a kick out of the movie, as well as one surprisingly generous 7 out of 10 review from Spanish outlet El Cartelera. The Metro.co.uk review, which is where we're reading this from, is also more positive than most, calling it a fun post-Spidey treasure hunt. And here's a Twitter. I think we'll read this. Fans of the video game will definitely get a kick out of this movie. Uncharted is a thrill ride from the start to finish, with some moments that focus on the puzzle-solving expertise you can expect from Nathan Drake. Overall, I had fun, and it's a cinema watch. Right, does that mean it's better at the cinema? Is that what it's trying to say? Don't wait for the home release. Go see it in the cinema. I think that's what it's trying to say, isn't it? That's what... Oh, it says it there, doesn't it? There we go. Here we go. One positive quality that nearly everyone appears to agree on is Holland's performance as Nathan Drake. While some believe he is woefully miscast in the role, many reviews highlight his charisma managing to carry the movie. For example, Tech Radar, while critical of the casting decision, still praises Holland for his efforts, saying he attacks the role with all the energy we've come to expect from the superstar. He puts his choreography skills and boyish enthusiasm to excellent use in some impressive fight sequences and equally daring stunts. This is it, some people have said, haven't they, and no doubt it'll mention it further down, but in the games, Nathan Drake is obviously a lot older than Tom Holland is in this film. And Sully is even older, isn't he? He's got grey hair and everything. So it's a strange, obviously, they're going with a origin story of sorts. There's every chance the movie will resonate better with audiences than critics, but it doesn't set a particularly good precedent for PlayStation Productions' future projects, such as the Ghost of Tsushima movie. Didn't even know they were going to do one of that. Never played it. Uncharted's director Ruben Fleischer, what's that? Is that I missed it? Asked recently. Hey. Anyway, he recently revealed he signed up for a potential Jack and Daxter movie or TV show, one that could also put Holland in the leading role. Second time's the charm. I'm guessing though that'd be like a CG thing, wouldn't it? Animated. Oh, that's it. That's it. There we go. And there's the trailer, but we won't watch that because we won't. Because there's no point. Unless you want to see a bit of it. Let's have a quick look. What the heck? Let's just waste a bit of time. There we go. Let's have a quick look.
I've been dreaming about this my whole life. And the challenge, gold. It's the biggest treasure that's never been found.
Oh,
5 billion, easy. So when do we start?
Yeah, put that in your ear.
Hello? Hello?
I can hear you. I'm sitting right next to you. Your brother believes.
Hilarious. I'm sitting right next to you. Okay, so anyway, so Uncharted, it's obviously... But it's, as I said, all games movies tend to not be very good, really. They don't seem to translate well to the screen, do they? Although, you know, some of them are okay. I mean, to be honest, I didn't mind the two Tomb Raider movies with Brains Gone Again, you know, thingamabob. It'll come to me. About 1 o'clock in the morning, it'll come to me. Comments. I quite like them, especially the first one. You know, some people said they like the second one better, but I like the first one better. And the most recent one with the other woman whose name I can't remember, that were okay. It was basically just a film version of the first Tomb Raider, you know, the reboot, the 2013 reboot. It was basically just a film version of that, wasn't it? With some tweaks. But that were okay as well. It wasn't brilliant, but it were okay. It was passable. What else? The Assassin's Creed film, you know, that copped for it, didn't it? Critics didn't like it, fans didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. It was a bit dull, really, wasn't it? And a bit brown, beige. That's what it was. What else has there been? I can't think of what else recently. There's been lots of others, and they're all usually not very good. I've not seen the Sonic film, and I've heard that's good. So that could be an outlier. Anyway, we'll move on. Josh Brolin. Oh, some swearing. I won't swear. Josh Brolin on Denis Villeneuve's Best Director snub. Yeah, because it's got, 10, 11 nominations for Oscars, Academy Awards. But not for Best Director, even though it's up for Best Picture, but not Best Director. And Josh Brolin says it's all bleeping totally dumb. Josh Brolin wasn't happy with the Dune director being left off the shortlist. And there's Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck. See, I remember that. I do remember some stuff. Obviously, the name of the actress that played Tomb Raider in both them films, 3 of them films, the actresses, not important to me. But Gurney Halleck is. Anyway, Josh Brolin has reacted to Dune director Denis Villeneuve being left off the Best Director shortlist at this year's Academy Awards. Taken to Instagram, Brolin congratulated the cast and crew of Dune, which received 10 nominations, before addressing the flummoxing decision not to nominate Villeneuve. It's just one of those things where you go, huh? What? Brolin said. No doubt acting. I'm looking at that again instead of that. I tell you. I don't know how you get 10 nominations and then the guy who has done the impossible with that Dune book doesn't get nominated. Brolin continued. Where are you going? He didn't say that, I said that. It makes you realise that it's all amazing and then it's all bleeping totally dumb. So congratulations for the amazing accomplishments that these incredibly talented people have been acknowledged for, because it's all really, really dumb. Well, that's Hollywood for you, isn't it? Well, that's the Academy for you, isn't it? Dune trails behind The Power of the Dog. Is it Dune or Dune? I say Dune because I'm British. The Power of the Dog, which picked up 12 nominations ahead of the March 27th ceremony. Villeneuve can also take solace in the fact that Dune is up for Best Picture. By the time I'm pronouncing it Villeneuve. I've heard people say it's Villeneuve, but I say Villeneuve because it means new town, doesn't it? In French. Anyway, Dune is up for Best Picture, an incredible achievement given the source material and previous attempts at adapting it. Alongside Belfast, Drive My Car, King Richard, Coda, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, Don't Look Up, West Side Story and Licorice Pizza. He also got a nod for Best Adapted Screenplay. As for Brolin, he is set to co-star in Brothers with Game of Thrones actor Peter Dinklage. They'll be joined by Glenn Close in the movie, set to be helmed by Palm Springs director Max Barbacow. Now, is that the name of a film or a TV series, or is that where it's from? I don't know. For more on what's coming to cinemas across the next 12 months, be sure to check out our blah 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 blah. There we go. So, yeah, he's flummoxed, and that we all. I mean, I said it on the news the other day when the nominations were announced. I said you'd think they go hand in hand. I know they don't quite often, but you think it go hand in hand. If it gets a Best Picture nomination, you'd think it'd get a Best Director nod. Because the director's the driving force behind the film, isn't it? Or she. He or she. Or they, these days. Anyway, he hasn't. So, do you know what will probably happen? I think Dune won't win. I think the Academy will wait, because it does this, doesn't it? Because obviously there's going to be a Dune Part 2, isn't there? And if that's amazing, because Dune 1 were pretty good. And I think if Part 2's, as good, he'll get it then. And it'll win Best Picture then. Like they did with Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers didn't win, Best Picture, did they? But Return of the King, the climax of the series, swept the board, didn't it? Won everything. Anyway, that's enough of that. So next up, Blade Runner. Live action Blade Runner 2099's TV series from Ridley Scott coming to Prime Video. The project hails from Shining Girl showrunner Silke Louisa. That means nothing to me. Oh, Vienna. Anyway, where were we? That's from Blade Runner 2049, which I thought was boring. And there's him. Ryan Gosling. I remember the name. Can't remember her name, but she's gorgeous. Only reason to watch the film. But I'm being sexist. Right, Amazon is most definitely dreaming of electric sheep, because that's the name of the book, isn't it? See what you did there. Per Deadline, the company has partnered up with Ridley Scott for Blade Runner 2099, a television series that will serve as a direct sequel to Denis Villeneuve's Blade Runner 2049, itself a sequel to the 1982 classic helmed by Scott. Silke Louisa, current showrunner and executive producer on Star's Shining Girls, will write and executive produce the show, which marks a co-production between Amazon Studios, Scott Free Productions and Alcon Entertainment. Currently amassing its writer's room, the project is said to be a top priority for Amazon. I thought Lord of the Rings of Power a top priority, which is allegedly fast-tracking scripts and already considering potential start dates for the production. Scott, who recently returned to the world of television for HBO's Raised by Wolves, could end up directing an unspecified amount of episodes. The filmmaker actually teased the small-screen endeavour at the end of last year, stating, "We're already presenting Blade Runner as a TV show. It'll probably be the first 10 hours. Plot details are locked away deep in the vaults of the Tyrell Corporation, but if 2099 does end up moving forward, it will be the first live-action television series set in the neo-noir world of Blade Runner." Oh, pardon me. Based on the 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick, the original film centred around Rick Deckard, Harrison Ford, a special kind of detective known as a Blade Runner who hunts down rogue androids known as replicants. The film opened the same weekend as John Carpenter's The Thing, and while both movies bombed that summer, E.T. came out a few weeks before. Both have come to be re-evaluated as some of the greatest science fiction movies ever to grace the big screen. It took almost 40 years for a sequel to be made, but it was well worth the wait. Blade Runner 2049 shifts the emphasis over to K. Ryan Gosling, an android Blade Runner. What, I can't actually remember. That's how much of an impact I can't remember what happened in it. An android Blade Runner on the winding trail of a child miraculously born to a human father and replicant mother. Spoilers if you haven't seen it, sorry. Ford reprised the role of Deckard in the follow-up, which was critically acclaimed but failed to drum up big box office numbers because it was boring. Nevertheless, it looked nice, but it was boring. Nevertheless, it received 5 Oscar nominations, winning 2 for Best Cinematography and Best Visual Effects. Blade Runner 2049 was an excellent Dune audition for Villeneuve, who proved his talent for turning a semi-obscure sci-fi property into a stunning piece of mainstream cinema. Blade Runner Black Lotus, an anime series based on the property from Adult Swim and Crunchyroll, aired its final episode this month. Never heard of it, I'll have to look into that. In addition, Titan Comics publishes a number of books inspired by the films, and that's that for that. There we go. Blade Runner TV series in the works. I wonder if it'll be as boring as Blade Runner 2049. But I do like the original. I'm not, I'm not one of these that, fawns of a Blade Runner. For a lot of years, and this is heresy, but I wasn't exactly keen on the film. I've always said it's a film that relies, for me, on its effects and its music and its its audio, its sound mix. What's the word? All that and its ambience. That's what it's all about. It's atmosphere. It's a film. It's an atmospheric film, more than a narrative. But I do enjoy watching it. I've got it on 4K and all that. And Doug Trumbull, who passed away recently, the effects were amazing, and they still stand up today, as all Doug Trumbull's effects do. Close Encounters are still bloody good. Swearing. Right, so we'll leave it at that for that. Finally, some space news. I did some space news the other day, and then, like I said, not really entertainment, a geeky entertainment, is it? But, it's space news, and us geeks like space news. And some people don't like Elon Musk. Can't say I'm a big fan of, the person. What did he call his kid? I can't remember, but it's some equation or something. So it's a strange one. Anyway, Elon Musk, Starship rocket close to going orbital. I mean, that's close. I think they mean by the end of the year, if we're lucky. Because he did brain's gone again. I'll read it anyway. There's a picture. Tell you what, we'll watch this. Watch Elon Musk has a vision for getting people and cargo to Mars. So we'll watch this first. Hopefully the BBC will be nice. Is this going to be Boca Chica or Cape Kennedy or some other place? We were on about launching from sea, wasn't it? From basically like an oil rig, platform, wasn't it? We'll see. He says a lot of stuff. Yeah, we've got 2 launch towers. And there's 2 starships. Looks like Boca Chica to me. Obviously, this isn't real. This is a rendering, isn't it? It doesn't look like that now. There's Starship. Top its super heavy booster. All them Raptor engines. Starship's got Raptors and it, the Falcon. Rockets have got Merlin. It does. Big Max Q. All reusable. This will come back down and land. Obviously, this is a simulator. You get grabbed out of the air. That'll be good to see when that happens for the first time. Because they've landed them before, haven't they? They've landed boosters and they've landed starships, but they haven't caught them. So that'll be fun to see. We've got refueling going on now. Because we wanted to go to Mars, isn't it? Obviously, this is a Mars ship. Because NASA's giving them a multi-billion-dollar budget for the lunar starship to get them out of the moon. But he really wants to go to Mars, doesn't he? Some people say he won't do it. We'll see. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I think we've got a lot of clever people working for him, and I think they'll work it out, and I think they'll do it. Maybe not as soon as he says, as soon as he hopes, but I think one day in the next 50 years, at most, maybe in the next 10 years, on its way to Mars. 6 months. Depends where Mars is in its orbit. It can get there as little as usually about 6 months. Cats. I keep noises. We're at Mars, look, that's Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system. 15 miles. The base is big out. Nebraska, I think. Look at Martian City, Liverpool. It'll be a while before we get to that stage. We're looking hundreds of years, I think, at least 100 years in future. I think. I mean, he wanted this by 2050, didn't he? As a self-sufficient colony on Mars by 2050, but we'll see. Right, we'll do some reading. Just pause that, 'cause I don't know if it'll play something again. Elon Musk is hopefully he can launch his new monster rocket system in perhaps a couple of months from now. In a presentation made while standing in front of what he calls the Starship, the US entrepreneur said the vehicle was close technically to being ready. Much depends now on the Federal Aviation Administration, its licensing authority, and it will not issue a permission to fly until an environmental assessment is complete. This should report back by March. I think we're tracking to have the regulatory approval and hardware readiness around the same time, he told the audience at his SpaceX company's R&D facility in Boca Chica, Texas. Hopefully, basically a couple of months for both, and Mr. Musk added, I feel at this point highly confident that we'll get to orbit this year. And there he is talking to people. And there's a couple of engines there, all that plumbing. Mr. Musk said that if the FAA process demanded further investigations, it would lead to a delay of many months as flight operations were shifted to the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where another launch pad for Starship is under construction. Thursday's presentation was the first formal update Mr. Musk has given on the progress of Starship's development in 2 years. While the level of activity at Boca Chica in the intervening time has been intense, Mr. Musk didn't reveal much that wasn't already public knowledge. He discussed niche engineering details on rocket engine design, which will have delighted superfans, and there was a glossy new animation, which we've just seen, that envisaged a crewed Starship mission to Mars, but the SpaceX CEO was shy about talking through the business opportunities that were emerging for the new launch system. And then we've got some pictures there. The stacked Starship rocket system left. See, that's real. That's real. Which is like that now. Did it the other day, didn't they? Now it would look in flight. And Boca Chica has seen rapid prototyping with some hardware, even making short hop flights. There's going to be some future announcements that I think people will be pretty fired up about, he said. There are a lot of additional customers that will want to use Starship, but I don't want to steal their thunder. They're going to make their own announcements. At just under 120 metres, 390 feet in height, the new SpaceX rocket system is the biggest ever devised. When it eventually takes to the sky, it will get off the pad with more than twice the thrust of the vehicles that sent men to the moon in the 1960s and 70s. The main engines on the Apollo Saturn V rockets delivered some 35 meganewtons, nearly 8 million pounds of force when ignited. The first stage of Starship, which is called Super Heavy, would achieve around 75 meganewtons. And there's a picture showing various rocket, Space Shuttle, Falcon Heavy. It's that launched. Remember Starman? It basically threw one of his cars into space with not a real person, obviously, a dummy with an astronaut in it. Called him Starman, and that went to Mars. Well, with that general direction, I think it's still knocking about out there somewhere. And SLS Block 1, that's Space Launch System, whatever I can't understand. So that's the NASA system in it, which is, it's encountering problems really in it. SpaceX is ahead of the game, and that's the Saturn V, the rocket that took men to the moon and did other things as well. Did it have I think it had a 100% success rate, didn't it? Anyway, the inaugural test flight, whenever it happens, we'll see the Super Heavy booster hurl the Starship into space for a 90-minute once around the Earth trip, which will end with a disposal landing in waters off the Hawaiian Islands in the Pacific. The Super Heavy itself will be ditched in the Gulf of Mexico. But that's just first one. Obviously, it'll just see if the system can get up into orbit, then they'll do landings afterwards, won't they? Ultimately, though, SpaceX wants both segments of future vehicles to make controlled touchdowns on land or on sea platforms so they can be reused. At Boca Chica, the launch tower sports enormous mechanical arms nicknamed chopsticks that would endeavour to catch Super Heavy as it hovered near the ground. These arms would then place the booster straight back on its launch mount, ready for the next mission. Mr. Musk says the Starship system, once fully developed, will be more than capable of taking humans to the moon and Mars, and the US Space Agency, NASA, has already contracted SpaceX. I told you cat were knocking about. What you do? You be naughty. Are you coming to see the ladies and gentlemen, eh? I'll come and see you in a minute. Cats, eh? To provide a version of Starship to place astronauts on the lunar surface later this decade. The rocket system could also ferry people and cargo quickly around the globe. Putting satellites in orbit is another obvious application. Indeed, Mr. Musk sees Starship as central to the ongoing deployment of his Starlink orbital broadband network. Had a bit of a setback recently. 40 of them fell out of the sky, didn't they, because of a solar storm. It's a hiccup. Every space program has them. Once we make this work, it's an utterly profound breakthrough in access to orbit, he said. When aircraft first came along, they were viewed as toys. When the Wright brothers first took off, most people were just riding horses. They would not have imagined that there would be tens of thousands of aircraft flying to every corner of the world. So this really could be a profound situation, and we really can't even imagine all the use cases at this point. And there's one of the test flights in it, or test firing at least. Let's have a look at the video. Is it a short one? It's going to go up and come back down. You ready? It's just using 3 of the Raptor engines together. Maybe not. I'll come and see it in a minute. Just watch
T plus 30 seconds. Starship 15 is airborne as we get a view of the 3
engines, look.
Raptor engines as we're powering our way to 10 kilometers altitude in today's test flight.
Anyway, it does that. It goes up, look.
Heading back to the landing zone.
It's coming back down now. You ready? Look at that. Gimbaling. 2 engines, look. And down it comes. And it landed. Is this the one that it landed? It's going to blow up. Nah, it's the successful one, isn't it? There we go. Bit of flame at the bottom for a few seconds, but it's it's all right. Right, is that it? Yeah, that's it for that. Right, it's very good. Very, very good. I suppose I better go see to the cat. And so there we go. So that's presentation by Elon Musk about his Starship system, and it's inching there. It was quite busy last year, and I think the year before as well. They were doing a lot of test flights, and there were a lot of Falcon 9 launches, so they're really busy at SpaceX. But it's kind of slowed down a little bit now. With the constructions at Boca Chica, and he calls it, what do you call it? Starbase 1 he calls it now, doesn't he? I think he's an alien, and he's building a ship to get back home. That's what he's doing. Right, anyway, so we'll leave it there. I think that's the last news item I've got. Yeah, it is. So we'll leave it there, and we'll get rid of that. We'll go back to that. Yeah, so that's it. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and drop a comment, and hit the notification bell, and share the videos. And we'll be back, fingers crossed, tomorrow for more geeky news. So until then, I'll see thee.